really like starting my bike in the garage because one of my neighbors works nights and he's probably asleep right now. And this bike is very loud when it starts. It's still loud outside, but if I can be considerate, I will. Alright, our topic of discussion today that we're talking about is, are motorcycles dangerous? So, I've been recently going live a lot on TikTok, and a lot of the people that come into my lives are people who are like super new riders, or people who are debating whether or not to get into riding, getting into buying a motorcycle, all that stuff. And they're trying to determine if it's a good decision for them based on how dangerous riding is. So in this video, I'm going to just be giving my opinion about whether or not riding is dangerous. And my answer, to be perfectly honest with you, is it depends. And this breaks down into a few different things that I will cover in this video. It is a freaking beautiful day outside. Sometimes I'm like, we don't even really deserve how beautiful these days are. It's like under 90 degrees right now in Texas, which feels like heaven if you are a native Texan and you're used to like 100 degree heat. 90 degrees feels like a cakewalk. So yeah, back to, are motorcycles dangerous? So my general opinion is it depends on who's riding them, but the primary root of my opinion is no, they are not dangerous. And I believe fully, like as a rider who's been riding for like 13 years, there are a couple different things that you can do to ensure your safety on a motorcycle. Or maybe not ensure is the right word, but there are a couple things you can do to drastically increase the percentage that you're going to be just fine if you're out riding around daily on one of these motorcycles. The first thing is, where are your gear, right? Are you wearing all of the stuff that you're supposed to be wearing on a motorcycle? Your helmet, your gloves, your jacket, your boots, abrasion resistant pants. Me personally, I never leave my house, even if I'm going within like a mile away from my house, without a helmet, a jacket of some sort, gloves, abrasion resistant. Well, actually, I typically wear normal jeans, but underneath my jeans I wear Pandomoto leggings, which are like CE level 2 leggings with pads at the hips and knees. And then I also wear riding boots that are specifically designed for riding. And that's even if I'm only going a mile from my house. No exceptions. And you'll find that, I believe there are two types of riders. There are riders who, have been down, and those who are going to go down. And that may be your fault that you go down. It may be someone else's fault. My opinion is, like, when you do go down, do your best to make sure that you're going to be as safe as possible when that happens. Because even a low speed crash, like going 10-15 miles an hour, can result in bodily damage if you're not wearing the appropriate stuff. So that's the first thing. make sure that you're always wearing your gear all the time. And for the street squids among you, for people who don't really like wearing gear that much, there are solutions to you or for your predicament. Check out Pandomoto. They make CE rated stuff that you can wear underneath your clothing, like stuff that you can wear like as a zip up, and they have pads at the appropriate areas, the shoulders, the back, the elbows, areas like that, and they have like the leggings that I just mentioned earlier, and then you can wear whatever you want on top, so you don't have to have that like Power Ranger look. Me personally, I like looking like a Power Ranger. That's a cool thing for me, but I understand it's not for everybody. The next thing that I would say drastically increases the chance that you'll get hurt on one of these things is, are you mixing alcohol with riding? That is going to be like a massive contributing factor to whether or not something goes wrong. Either you just like chilling on your own on the road, or if you're like trying to interact with other people on the road, other cars, whether or not you drink alcohol is going to play a large part in how you operate the motorcycle. It's gonna play a part on all of the decisions that you make. It's gonna play a part on your reaction time when things go wrong. There's a ton that can go wrong if you are inebriated, if your brain doesn't work the way it needs to while you're operating one of these motorcycles. So that's number 2. Do not mix riding with alcohol. Number 3, do your best, do your absolute best not to ride at night, right? If you don't have any business being on the road at night, like if you don't have a job, if there's not something that you actually have to be doing, then do your best not to ride at night. And the reason for that is, at night, the people that are on the road are statistically more likely to be inebriated, meaning under the effect of alcohol or another substance, and that means that they are going to have worse reaction times, and they're going to make ultimately worse decisions, and that involves how they're sharing the road with the likes of us, people on motorcycles. And the secondary part to that is, at night, obviously, we are more difficult to see. And so, think about the world the way that it really is and not the way that you'd like it to be, and just realize that after a certain time, it's more likely that people will be intoxicated, and it's less likely that they'll even be able to see you in the first place. So that's like a double whammy. Like, number 1, they're under the effect of something, and number 2, they can't see you. So they can't even react as if they see you in the first place, because that part is missing as well. And so that's that topic. If you can, do your absolute best not to ride at night. Next, do your absolute best to avoid riding near bars and clubs, especially if there's hubs of these things. Like, think about Austin, Texas. It's got like a well-known hotspot for clubs or bars called 6th Street, right? Do not ride around these areas, because the likelihood that someone is intoxicated in these areas is going to be a lot higher, right? Again, it goes back to the thought that you're not thinking about the world the way you want it to be, you're thinking about it the way that it is. And that involves making the correct decisions by where you go, just to make sure you're not around the wrong types of people. And riding around bars and clubs and hubs like these, it's not a good decision. And it could result in you being way more likely to get hurt. And then lastly, and this is probably the most important, and it's true whether you're riding during the day or at night. Ride like you're invisible, right? Whether you're on the highway or you're coming through an intersection, always ride like you're invisible. Assume that nobody sees you, even if it's like common sense for someone to see you. Assume that they do not see you, right? A good example of this is if like you're coming to an intersection and you have the right of way, you have a green light, and up to the right of you, someone is going to attempt to turn on red, but they obviously see you coming, right? That's a bad word if you ride a motorcycle. Nothing is obvious. If you ride a motorcycle, take the word obvious out of your vocabulary, because in that instance, you should not think that it's obvious that they should see you. You should not assume that they see you, even though you're clearly coming and you have the right of way. What you should assume is that they do not see you, because if you're riding like you're invisible, then you're acknowledging that you are invisible, and you're making all of your decisions based off of this. And so in that situation, what you should do is you should decelerate, slow your bike down, ride the brake a little bit so that you can react if something negative happens, or so that you can slow down in time if they do pull out in front of you. And I've been in this situation personally, and many like it, and I can tell you for a fact that the person, more than 80% of the time, they react the way that I think they were by me acting invisible, and they do pull out in front of me. And in all of those situations, if I wasn't reacting as if I was invisible in the first place and taking steps to avoid the coming conflict by slowing down, applying some brakes, making sure that I was in a good situation to avoid an accident, then I would have gotten in an accident in all of those times. And so riding like I'm invisible has saved me more times than I can count. So those are the tips. Wear all your gear all the time, no exceptions. If you don't like wearing bulky gear, then shop at brands like Pandomoto and find a solution that works for you, but make sure you're wearing some type of gear. Next, don't consume any substances while you're riding a bike. Third, don't ride at night if you can. Also, don't ride around like any bars or hubs, things like that would increase the chances that people are intoxicated around you. And ride like you're invisible. And I think that these things alone will drastically increase. I think these things will drastically increase whether or not you make it home in one piece. And so yeah, those are my tips. I'm gonna get some coffee. Okay, that's better. I always feel so much better after my daily ride. I used to be the type to be like, you know what, my entire to-do list isn't done, so I'm not leaving my house for any reason until it gets done. But you do that too many days in a row, and a lot of time goes by and you realize, wow, I don't really have a life right now. So your personal health is just as important as your professional obligations. So back to what we were talking about earlier. What do you guys think about all that? about ways to increase your safety chances while you're out riding a motorcycle and following your passion. Now, I would also like to say that everything we went through today, all of the things that can like drastically increase your safety chances, they're all backed by statistics. I saw a video a couple weeks ago of a guy talking about this. I'll see if I can find it in my history, but he was going through like the stats from like some government agency or organization or something, who like broke down like a lot of the accidents that riders have gone through over the past, I think it was the 2023 statistics, and how the majority of them were all due to negligence in the areas that I talked to you guys about. So if I can find that video, I'll link it in the description. But I thought it was very interesting and also reassuring, because I've always just kind of wondered, you know, like, knock on wood, thank God that, you know, I've been riding for 13 years and I've never gotten in an accident, thank God. But I always kind of wonder, like, okay, what are the things, you know, contributing to other people getting in accidents? And you know what? As I'm talking about this, I thought of the other thing that I left out for some reason. I don't know why. It slipped my mind, primarily because I don't do it. But don't engage in reckless activity on these motorcycles, right? Like, don't, you know, hold wheelies on the highways and engage in excessive speed while you're on the highways or in residential areas. And then, you know, if you're in a 50-mile-an-hour area and you're going 100 and somebody pulls out in front of you, those roads are very likely built with speed limits and timing in mind for traffic to flow. That means, like, oh, if you're at, you know, a certain curvature in the road and another car sees you, if you were going the speed limit, that car would probably have time to turn in front of you and gain speed before you even get to them. But that's not true if you're going 90 miles an hour, you know? So that's something to consider. If you're riding at excessive speeds or just overall engaging in dangerous behavior while you're on your motorcycle, it's only a matter of time that something goes wrong. You know, there's a time and place for that stuff. If you want to stunt, do it in a parking lot. If you want to go fast excessively, take it to a track, you know? And I know track days are expensive, but saving up some money to get that out of your system at least will keep your life intact, keep your body and health intact. So that's just my perspective. And then lastly, all of these rules that I covered, don't break more than one of them at one time. You know, like, don't for some reason not wear your helmet one day on, like, if it's just like a slow ride around the block, don't mix that with, oh shit, back to what I was saying. A guy just ran across the road with a massive trash bag in his hand. Yeah, don't break multiple of these rules at once. If one day, you know, for some reason you don't have all your gear, don't also drink alcohol while you're riding your bike. Or, you know, don't drink alcohol and then ride around at night. And don't ride around at night and engage in reckless behavior. You know, like, no matter which combination that you apply, don't break multiple of these rules at once. Don't break them at all if you can help it, but nobody is perfect. But definitely don't break them simultaneously. So I started this channel primarily because, you know, I looked around in the industry and there's not too many people who have riding channels that are encouraging safe operating behavior for these things. And because of it, the behaviors of riders is generally really slipping. And because of that, the riders themselves are engaging in really reckless behavior that are resulting in them getting hurt, resulting in fatalities, and ultimately resulting in negative reputation for, you know, people in the riding community. And I started this channel to help negate some of that by encouraging safe riding practices, possibly attracting more people to the riding community, showing them like, hey, there's a way to do all of this safely, there's a way to enjoy it, there's a way to make it back home every day if you have children or pets or a wife waiting for you at home. You know, there's a way to do all of these things simultaneously and be safe at the same time. And I started this channel to show people that if I can, you know, give somebody a tip that has, you know, aided me and saved me in the past, and it ends up saving one person, then that's a massive win for me. So what do you guys think of these tips? Do you think they'll help you long term? Do you have any tips of your own? Let me know in the comments. This channel is all about encouraging good riding behaviors and just building a badass community of riders who also do this stuff safely so that other people can join in on the fun and nobody gets hurt. By the way, have you guys noticed that I really like coffee? Because a lot of my riding videos is just me going to get coffee. Is that a problem? Do you need to see more variety? Or can I just keep going to get coffee and talking about things? But anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today. Just wanted to share those thoughts, share some tips that I think could be really useful to you, whether you're a new rider or whether you're an OG. These are the things that have kept me safe over the past 13 years, and thankfully I continue that trend. And I'm very thankful that I haven't gotten in an actual other vehicle accident so far. So yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.